Good morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching, guys. For those live, what is up? But welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I read you the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you informed on what's going on. But yeah, what is going on? Yesterday, we saw a huge shift in just political power, and then we got a little bit of word on Ian Conrad being a Democrat but pro-Bitcoin advocate, putting in his candidacy for California. So we'll see how that goes. We have an article going over that, and then but because of that news, that was the hidden news of Dennis Porter, and then some people just thought like that was a big lackluster. It's like all this hype for nothing. We covered that, and then I have a bunch of altcoin news for you. But let's go over some Twitter posts, like what's happening in the space right now. Like just in, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is now back at fear. So we're no longer in the neutral territory. We're at a 43 of 100. I think when I last checked a couple minutes ago, it was at 40. So when we are in the fearful territory, it is a good time to buy or just hodl. Because when people are fearful, it's a good time to buy. But when we get to the greedy side, market is due for a correction. So that's what we usually like paying attention to the Fear and Greed Index. But again, nothing to worry because people are still buying, especially companies. Like just breaking, Chinese EV maker Jiuzi approves a $1 billion Bitcoin treasury strategy. This is massive. Some more Bitcoin's going to be coming off the table, but we already got some people already buying it. Just in, British public company B Hodl just bought their first 100 Bitcoin, and we see it in the top 100 charts of the public Bitcoin treasury holders. So people are trying to make that top 100 list now. Sure, it's going to be hard to get caught up to MicroStrategy with like that 690 million Bitcoin. So, but hey, this is a great start, and this is going to help make any business thrive as long as they start putting Bitcoin in their own treasury. Because again, it's the future of money. Let's get ahead of the game. And then last company to buy some Bitcoin, just in, Brazilian public company Orange JBTC bought 3,650 Bitcoin for $385 million dollars. So guys, Bitcoin is still being bought up. When we see people sell and the prices dip, it's just weak hands going into the stronger ones. So don't be a weak hand holder. Bitcoin is a long-term and it's an actually investment. And again, this isn't financial advice. Again, I got no education beyond that. But again, like Bitcoin is investing when you're going into the altcoins, like a couple of these articles I want to cover. That is all speculative, and like they can go to zero, they could go to multiple X's, but the final goal is to try to get more Bitcoin because it's a scarce asset that's capped at 21 million. But let's go through the news now. Let's talk about Ian Calderon and how he's running for California governor. So we heard this announcement yesterday from Dennis Porter, who got some, again, negative backlash on all this, and I'll go over those tweets later. But let's hear about this because this was breaking news for him that he was hyping up. So what is happening? The former Assembly Majority Leader's campaign launched with a pledge to put Bitcoin on the state's balance sheet. Now, and Ian Calderon, a Democrat and former California Assembly Majority Leader, announced his candidacy for governor with a promise to put Bitcoin at the heart of state policy. Now, California has always been a leader on technology. It's time for us to get back to our roots and make California the undisputed leader on Bitcoin. Calderon tweeted this on Tuesday that California has always been a leader on technology. It's time for us to get back to our roots and make California the undisputed leader on Bitcoin. And California is one of the richest states here in America. So if they got full on board with Bitcoin holdings, like that's pretty big. But Calderon has been a staunch advocate of the digital asset, confirming in a live stream earlier on the same day that once elected, he would make sure that we hold Bitcoin on our balance sheet and support crypto payments for state programs. Now, in a separate campaign video, Calderon compared his positioning with the status quo. He said, "My generation pays bills on our phones. We send money to each other with Venmo, and we save in Bitcoin." Calderon said, "But the people running our government, they're trying to use yesterday's ideas to solve today's problems, and it isn't working." Now, this is ambitious and daring. Calderon's statements are not without weight or work behind it. Having left the assembly in 2020 after 3 terms, he remained active in the policy space, including work with the Satoshi Action Fund in 2022 that explored legislation to consider Bitcoin as legal tender in a state. And yeah, the Satoshi Action Fund, that is the group that Dennis Porter has started, and they have definitely pushed through a lot of bills, which I will show you in a second. But Calderon is also cited as a contributor in a 2020 roadmap developed by California's Blockchain Work Group, a forum that produced policy recommendations on digital assets. Now, much earlier in 2018, Calderon authored AB 2658, which created California's blockchain working group to evaluate the technology and uses, with the risks and benefits and legal implications for the state government and businesses. Now, define blockchain in statute and develop policy recommendations, including possible amendments to state law. Now, Calderon's stance shows that crypto has entered the mainstream because candidates are now openly running on pro-crypto platforms and competing with one another. Now, Robert Boris Mofrad, co-founder of the blockchain data storage firm Serenity, told Decrypt that yet whether the position is adopted or received by the masses would still remain unclear, Mofrad noted. But what we can understand, though, is that crypto is now a serious part of the political conversation, and one that began at the federal level with just the idea of creating a reserve. Now, California's putting Bitcoin on its balance sheet is quite an ambitious and daring position, Mofrad said. When it comes to a state such as California, the world's fifth largest economy, the situation is different, because governments usually treat Bitcoin as an intangible asset and must record every loss in value, but cannot really record gains. So such proposals make it hard for a state treasury to manage responsibility, he added. Now let's talk about California and crypto. Calderon's campaign comes as California weighs incremental crypto legislation through two key legal frameworks. AB 1180, which would allow certain state agencies to pilot stablecoin payments for fees beginning in 2026, while AB 1052 brings crypto under the state's unclaimed property law by requiring inactive custodial accounts to be transferred to the state and held in their original form. Now, neither measure, however, would authorize California to purchase or hold Bitcoin directly, marking a clear distinction from Calderon's proposal. So there's got some changes to be made there if Calderon gets in. But again, so this is a pro-Bitcoiner for Congress, or for a governor in California. Hey, anything's better than new scum. I can say that. I came from California. I lived under that for so many years. But no, so that is pretty interesting news. Like California, again, being one of the biggest economic states out there, this is bigger news than a smaller state saying they have a Bitcoin reserve and start holding it. So if they do get on their balance sheets, it doesn't say they can hold it yet, but this could be the start of it. But again, this is the Democrat side. We got an announcement of it. Let's wait to see who the right side is going to be. Republican is going to be pro-Bitcoin or not. If they're not, my bet would be this guy would probably have a better chance because, again, crypto's adoption is moving fast. We want to see changes in it to keep spreading the adoption of blockchain and Bitcoin's news. So this is going to be bullish. But let's talk about how people do not see this as bullish because, again, the Dennis Porter announcement on this just fell flat to a lot of people. So massive Bitcoin posts in all caps on X don't tend to be that significant at all. So Dennis Porter is a prominent advocate and for several reasons was warning his 230,000 followers on X that a huge announcement was on the horizon. And he was tweeting mass political news coming for Bitcoin Tuesday that will reshape the trajectory. Well, I guess he's actually not wrong when we're rereading this and we took a look at Ian Calderon. But he kept tweeting something big. So people were thinking, what's this going to be? Is this going to be the, the insurance companies being able to add Bitcoin? Or is it the retirement fund that's going to add Bitcoin? So it's everyone was very speculative on what this news could have been. But then everyone just kept tweeting this reminds me of Michael Scott texting 911, call me, just get a hold of David Wallace. And just once, can you underhype and over-deliver the goat of nothing? And I saw on Twitter too, massive just pullbacks, people going up, blocking, I'm muting him, don't want it. It's why are you doing this? You're such in the crypto community and you want to see adoption happen. Why are you going to mute this guy who's done so much already, especially with creating the Satoshi Action Fund? And did this not pull up? I had a bunch of it. Yeah, so he has the Satoshi Action Fund, which helps bills and laws get passed around the United States. What are you doing by just buying and holding, which is great to do, but where are you spreading the adoption or helping to advance it? So these guys I saw just unfollow, just do not understand the big picture. Because with Dennis Porter and also the Satoshi Action Fund, they've done so far, let's see, bills/laws in Arkansas. We have the HB 1799, which was in 2023, helped write parts of the bill. Porter publicly supported after, but this law deals with regulation of digital mining in Arkansas. Then they also helped out the Texas SB 1751, which Satoshi Action opposed it, quote, organize it, but don't mess with Texas innovation campaign. The bill ultimately stalled. But the bill would have placed restrictions on tax incentives required registration with grid operator cap participation in energy programs. So they're helping just they were opposed that one. The Strategic Bitcoin Reserve laws. So this was multiple state levels, and the New Hampshire passed the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve law, making it one of the first states to do so, and the Social Action Fund actually helped it. And then there was also the rights to mine, rights to self-custody. So these laws were not in place before, like all this stuff. So anything could have happened. There was no rules, regulations. Something could have been put in that would have been bad for crypto and Bitcoin. So by having this, like, in there, having someone at the White House front door, well, he's not at the White House, but he's in there, like, doing the work. Like, I don't get why people are just giving so much hate. Like, sure, yeah, it was kind of a lackluster to everything they were trying to imagine, but again, the mind can go to some odd places to overthinking and overhyping something. But I will say, though, Dennis Porter did overhype it, the news, a little much, so the backlash kind of makes sense. But no, but he's done so much, and I applaud Dennis Porter. I remember I got to meet him one time. He came to the crypto club, which was very awesome. But no, so like, he's still doing great stuff. The community around, some of the community in the crypto community, just, I keep saying community a lot, but people in the crypto community, like, some of them just didn't like it and just now started meeting it. But just wanted to share that news with you. But let's start going over some other crypto news. Yeah, not just altcoin news. Yes, let's go for like adoption. How many people are actually using Bitcoin or saving it and crypto in general? So our first article is going to cover how I think like 80% of some Russians have like crypto under their cash under their cushion reserve. So let's go through this article to get those numbers. I always like statistics and just getting some numbers out there. And like, again, this is just a small number just from Cryptopolitan, not like the bigger picture where it's going all around the world. So it's a small number, but I do like getting this data. But the majority of Russians save money every month in case of an unforeseen expense, and cryptocurrency is now among these assets in the buffer. So while bank deposits are still widespread, crypto wallets are also among the popular choices. And for a small minority, that's likely to grow. They are the preferred option to store liquid funds. Now, over 80% of Russians maintain financial buffers. So the great majority of Russian citizens is 84%, and they save money on a monthly basis to have their own financial cushion. According to a new survey conducted by the Esper Bank's life insurance unit, Esper Strakanvani, and the employment website robota.ru, the study, the results of which were quoted by the online news portal Gazeta.ru, also found that 67% simply set aside unspent funds at the month, while another 70% have the habit of regularly adding a specific amount to the reserves. So almost every third Russian, so 32%, believe that 1 million rubles or 12,000 US dollars is the optimal amount to keep in store at all times. Now, for around 9%, this type of savings can go up to 100,000 rubles, which is just 1,200 US dollars. And 19% said that the cushion should be in the range of 100,000 to 300,000 rubles. And that's a 20% approved with a 300,000 to 500,000 bracket. Now, bank deposits remain the most widely used tool to build a buffer, which is 60%, and around 35% of the respondents prefer cash and 30% opt for opening a savings account. Now, some 17% like investments in insurance plans, and 6% have foreign currency deposits. Another 2% of the participants in the poll pick cryptocurrency as their top choice. Now, despite the relatively small share of those who rely primarily on crypto as the main means of having a cash cushion, cryptocurrencies have been gaining popularity with Russians in the past few years, marked by fiat restrictions related to the war in Ukraine. Now, another study released earlier this year showed, for example, that a fifth of the Russian families, which is like 26%, are ready to invest their maternity capital, a one-time benefit allocated by the government to boost fertility, and in decentralized digital assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, if they are allowed to do so. Now, the latest survey was carried out throughout the Russian Federation in the first half of September, and more than 3,000 people participated in the poll, the organizer said. So again, this is a small group, but it's nice getting some feedback from part of the community. Now, Russians buy crypto despite limited options. In general, legal access to cryptocurrencies has been quite limited for most law-abiding people in Russia, where regulators are still strongly opposed to their fee circulation in the country's economy. Now, they're used for payments and other transactions or for investments purposes. A special experiment legal regime allows companies to spend, accept, and exchange digital coins within foreign trade deals. Now, under the Western sanctions, and in May, the Bank of Russia authorized financial institutions to offer crypto derivatives on the domestic financial market. However, the latter are strictly reserved for what the Monetary Authority calls highly qualified investors, meaning mostly investment companies and rich individuals with sufficient funds to risk. Now, the rest haven't stayed out of crypto, though, as according to an estimate quoted by Cryptopolitan in June, wallets linked to Russian residents hold more than $25 billion worth of crypto assets. Now, that's despite a string of recent amendments targeting crypto-related operations, particularly peer-to-peer trading. Now, it's worth noting that Russia's finance ministry, which has generally maintained a more liberal stance than the central bank, recently suggested easing the requirements for granting investors the highly qualified status of Russia market for the crypto products, and expected to reach 24 billion in 2026, according to one forecast. So those 3,000 people, again, 80% have a cushion of some type of savings, and I think they said though 32%. There was a lot of numbers thrown out there. Was it 9%? It was like there was like three that stuck out. It was like 26%. No, 26% was the capital for like the maternity. 30% were opting for the savings account, and then 20% approved for just saving. But 84% monthly basis. So, but I guess that didn't give me an exact number for that one. Sorry, guys, on the percentage. But it does show that, like in that study, a handful of people are already investing in crypto assets, or they're really considering doing so. So there's still time to get in. And there's like, if you want some smaller numbers, I think in the United States, we just have 14% of Americans investing in crypto. So let's take a look at this next one for it to just add more fuel to this information. But the US market looks like a crypto powerhouse, but in reality, only a small fraction of American investors have material crypto exposure. Recent data shows that most investments still go toward traditional assets. So American investors have a limited crypto exposure when it comes to material allocation. A new Bank of America survey cited by Kobesi letter notes that over 75% of investors have no exposure to crypto at all. So guys, you still have time to get involved before this really takes off. Because again, governments and institutions are already getting on board with it. And once that happens, what they already are, we're already seeing prices still continue to hold and will continue to rise. But the USA is a powerhouse of transactions, and the institutional activity but crypto ownership comparatively low. So the data matches a previous Gallup survey showing only 14% of American investors held crypto, and most did not have a significant allocation based on the current data and activity. Now, even though the USA is one of the liveliest crypto markets for trading and innovation, crypto investments have a big potential upside to growth. So how many American investors own crypto? Well, I'm one of them. But there is still no consensus on what counts as material crypto exposure. Other data shows up to 28% of Americans own some kind of crypto, but the actual allocation activity still may vary. The expectation for crypto is that it could turn from experimental activity to more predictable asset for portfolio allocations. Now, some of the crypto growth may be due to memes or low-cost activities. However, seeing Bitcoin and other assets as deflationary reserves may change the potential for a fund manager to allocate its assets. Now, according to the Global Fund Manager survey by Bank of America, funds are especially conservative in allowing crypto allocation. Roughly 67% of fund managers have not even considered crypto as worthy of allocations. I don't think it's much as they say it's worthy. I think I heard from somebody like around here saying like they just don't get involved with it because they already have enough on their plate with the traditional society. So it's like, I don't have time to learn this Bitcoin. They're going to have to, but that's another excuse. It's not just it's not worthy of their allocation. It's just they don't have the time to be able to allocate. They don't have the time to allocate their time to go to study this Bitcoin and blockchain tech. So that's why they are not doing it. But the metric may change in the coming years with the appearance of stablecoins regulated by the Genius Act, as well as real-world asset tokenization. Now, chain analysis in North America is becoming an institutional powerhouse. The USA is still holding the second spot in chain analysis crypto adoption index. In 2026, American traders made up 26% of on-chain volume. Despite limitations on using some projects, US-based crypto natives remained a source of support for new token launches, meme trading, content, and more. Now, the market rally and stablecoin activity at the end of 2024, triggered by the US presidential election, led to the highest baseline activity for the whole of 2025 and extending the bull market with extra liquidity. According to Chainalysis, North American crypto markets are extremely vulnerable to short-term shifts in sentiment, and trends can reverse in less than a month, or restart if investors and traders see a favorable condition. Now, Chainalysis also notes US-based centralized exchange activities remain near to its usual high levels, but institutional investments have evolved in the past year, driven by new ETF launches and larger inflows into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Now, North America is also a leader in high-value crypto activity, with 45% of the transaction value held in transfers of over $10 million. European markets come in second with 34% of the crypto volume locked in large-scale whale transfers, and this points to outsized institutional adoption in the USA, potentially putting crypto on the radar of more fund managers. Now, the crypto market is now valued at $3.99 trillion in market cap, though few assets have enough liquidity to carry institutional and fund allocations. And very few assets. So few assets. I'm pretty sure they're talking about the other altcoins out there. Because again, with a lot of these rules and laws, they're putting like a hard cap at the coin must have a market cap of 500 billion. And so far, I believe that is just Bitcoin right now. Maybe Ethereum, or sometimes Ethereum. But no, like by having this pool, though, fund managers are seeing increased adoption with the US, and it's like going, okay, they're going to have to do it. But yeah, so 14% of Americans have exposed to crypto, which means you still have time to get ahead of them and the rest of the curve, because there's only 21 million. We're already seeing institutions buy, like Brazil grabbed the 3,800, that one company in Britain bought 100 Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's just dwindling down right now. And when we see these price dips, again, I'll say it again, it's just weak hands going to stronger hands. So don't be a weak hand holder. Have a separate portfolio if it's just your Bitcoin savings. If you need to move crypto around, start understanding it's okay to have more than one wallet. Have one for savings that's just like you're never going to touch it. Just keep adding to it. That's its main purpose. Then you have another one which you can touch. So try to get in light with having at least two wallets for those two scenarios. Because again, don't just give up your Bitcoin, because that's going to hurt you in the long run. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, literally. I don't think we're going to get another one of these shots. And time's changing. It's not going to happen as fast as you may think. But again, 4 or 5 years, even 10 years from now is a blink of an eye, and it can change so much. So let's take a quick commercial break before I head into some altcoin news, a little Trezor update, and we'll talk about Aster. What is going on with that coin? I'm not getting involved because I think there'll be a correction, but yeah. So let me play a quick commercial ad, and we will be right back. And let's do this one. Oh, this annoying one. I'm going to play this one.
Ever felt left out of the crypto craze? Not anymore. Welcome to Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where community meets opportunity. Our clubs are popping up nationwide, from Sarasota to Nashville, Boston to St. Louis. Join us and unlock a world of benefits. Access all clubs worldwide, earn through referrals, and dive into specialized crypto education. Need help buying crypto? We've got you covered, often with reduced fees. But wait, there's more. Enjoy perks like Bitcoin ATMs, silver purchases, and exclusive investment opportunities. Our state-of-the-art facilities offer podcast rooms, event spaces, and co-working areas. Stay informed with FGTV, our exclusive crypto news and education channel. Choose your membership, from day passes to individual or company plans. Individual members get access for themselves plus 2 guests, perfect for bringing friends or family. Companies can bring up to 15 employees or guests, fostering team growth and networking. Connect, learn, and grow with like-minded crypto enthusiasts. Ready to join the revolution? Visit BitcoinBenCryptoClub.com or call 562-526-0813 today. Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, your gateway to crypto.
I just took a puff of my vape. I'm going to hold this in. Never mind. That had just ended fast. I think it's usually longer. But I said it was the annoying app because of the orchestra on it when we made it. I was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like the haunted mansion at Disneyland. But no, Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, guys. If you need help learning about Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain, just getting involved, sign up for the club. We offer tons of programs, from confidential bulk crypto purchases to loans for Bitcoin, home to hodl, and many more, as well as our private key capital. So if you want to learn about our fully backed Bitcoin bank down in El Salvador, that we're rebranding the name of that bank, so we just got it to private key capital, go to bitcoinben.io for more information. give us a call or text at 941-413-8080. That is our number to get all the information about the credit union, our programs, or even being a part of the club. And yeah, speaking of the private key back capital, Joe, you signed up for it. Awesome. You're with me because I signed up for it too. And it's nice getting those statements like you earned 4%. So you're already seeing some earnings coming in. So congratulations for being a part of it. And thank you for being here. I always love seeing you on the show. So thank you for being a part of it. Now let's continue on with the news. What else do I have for you? So Trezor, the crypto wallet. I like if I get an update, I will see it because I do have two of these wallets. But Trezor Suite launches the MEV protection for safer, more reliable transactions. So how is this going to work? Let's see. So users can now swap, trade, and send crypto with confidence thanks to a built-in protection against blockchain manipulators. Now, Prague, Czech Republic, and on September 24th, Trezor, the original crypto hardware wallet company, has announced the release of a MEV protection in Trezor Suite. Now, this new feature shields users and Ethereum, Binance, Smart Chain, and Base transaction from bots and exploitative practices, in addition to delivering smoother and more reliable experiences when sending or swapping crypto. Now, understanding MEV and why protection matters. So when making a blockchain transaction, users often face hidden risks like bots and bad actors can manipulate transaction ordering, resulting in higher fees and worse prices, or even failed swaps. So this practice, known as maximal extractable value, or MEV, undermines user confidence and can make crypto use unnecessarily stressful. Now, with MEV protection now integrated directly into Trezor Suite, transactions are routed through secure and private channels powered by infrastructure partner Merkle.io. Now, this prevents front-running sandwich attacks and other exploitation behaviors, giving Trezor users more control and peace of mind. However, the MEV protection works inside the Trezor Suite. The feature requires no additional configuration because it's fully built in Trezor Suite's transaction flow. Now, by keeping the transactions hidden from predatory bots, MEV protection helps users achieve lower slippage when swapping tokens, fewer failed transactions, and predictable and fair trade outcomes. So this launch reinforces Trezor's dedication to providing secure, reliable, and seamless crypto experiences to our community, said Lori Hanin, Trezor's product marketing lead. Now, with MEV protection integrated into Trezor Suite, our users can trade, swap, and transact with greater confidence and control. Now, the feature is part of Trezor Suite's continuous product development, focused on delivering practical security improvements that directly address user needs. Now, about Trezor, if you don't know who they are, Trezor is the original Bitcoin hardware wallet company founded in 2013. It pioneered the development of self-custody to crypto assets, empowering individuals with an open source device that enables secure and independent storage of cryptocurrencies. Now, Trezor expanded to offer a range of hardware and software products that enhance user security from crypto novices to experts. In 2023, the company launched Trezor Academy, an initiative aimed at educating grassroots communities about safe participation in the crypto ecosystem. Now, Trezor is a part of Satoshi Labs, a technology holding company focused on Bitcoin and crypto innovation. And just right there, just quick little thing. It's always a big misconception on storage of cryptocurrencies. Crypto wallets don't store your crypto on it. My phone with my Exodus wallet, my other wallets I have on there, like the crypto is not on there. All this is doing is protecting my private key. That's what crypto wallets do. They protect your private keys, which give you access to your cryptos on the blockchain. All cryptos live on the blockchain. Picture as a digital storage locker that you have the key to. So if you want to move it to somebody's storage, you got to be able to unlock your storage, grab the crypto, and then drop it in their Dropbox. So again, like just a correction there if you didn't know the little education part. Like wallets give you access to your cryptos to move them around freely, but they're only really protecting your private key, which is the most important thing with crypto. Anybody who has that private key has access to your crypto, so you want to be sure it's stored safe. And that's why these wallets out there, you want to trust your wallet, that you know the company, who they are, what they stand for, if you trust them, because you got to trust like which device that they created is holding onto that private key. So just be aware of that, but that's a cool little update. And yeah, if there is going to be an upgrade to happen to the wallet, just a tidbit of advice, give it a week before you do that update. If you have automatic updates on, I would turn that off just to manually do them. Actually, I don't think Trezor has that ability because you actually got to plug it in, do the steps to do the update. But always give it a week, just because in case there's any bugs or vulnerabilities in that update, this just keeps you protected. So give it a week, give it 2 weeks, just wait. Just don't do it right away. So that's it for the updates. But this is cool that their Trezor Suite, the wallet's making us a little bit safer to do these transactions. So very, very cool. Now, other news I have for you, Coinbase, Sony, and Samsung back $14.6 million of round for stablecoin startup Bastion. So, everyone wants to get their own stablecoin, but it looks like they're investing in a company that makes white labeling and issuing stablecoins quite easy. So the firm White Label Stablecoin System enables companies to issue digital dollars without coding or their own regulatory license. So stablecoin infrastructure startup Bastion has raised $14.6 million in a new funding round led by Coinbase Ventures. The company said in a press release shared with CoinDesk, bringing its total funding to over $40 million. Bastion builds white label stablecoin systems that let companies issue digital dollars without writing code or applying for regulatory licenses. Now, the round included participation from the venture arms of Sony and Samsung, as well as Andreessen Horowitz, crypto division at Hashed. Now, I'm going to delete that. Now, this startup is led by Nansem Adequaki, a former Meta and A16Z crypto executive who worked on Libra, Meta's now defunct stablecoin project. Adequaki said that Bastion product suite goes beyond just simple issuance. It includes wallets for users and off-ramps that allow conversion to cash in over 70 countries. Now, the valuation of the latest funding round wasn't revealed, and the company raised $25 million back in 2023 in a round led by A16Z Crypto. And the company said it's seeing particular traction in Asia, where demand from enterprise customers is rising. That fresh funding will support product expansion and hiring. Bastion has already recently added a new leadership across compliance, treasury, legal, and revenue, the company said. Now, that positions Bastion to compete with firms like Paxos and new players like Algora. Now, the firm declined to name which corporations are currently using its platform, but Eddie Kuyaka said that announcements are coming within the next 9 months. So 9 months? That'll breeze by pretty fast. Now, the funding comes amid a broader stablecoin boom. Stripe recently acquired stablecoin startup Bridge for $1.1 billion, and USDC issuer Circle went public over the summer, while leading stablecoin issuer Tether is reportedly looking to raise up to $20 billion at valuation that could be as high as $500 billion. So, Sony and was that Google too? No, Coinbase, Sony, and Samsung. Yeah, so they're getting involved. Again, everyone wants their own stablecoin, and they're investing in a company that makes it simple to do, and you don't need, again, a regulatory license to do so. So they're investing in that, trying to make it easier. So if this company does succeed, there's going to be a big boom. There'll be a boom in crypto because, again, the more stable coins that are out there, it's the easier flow of movement within the entire space. Rather than going through the traditional system, I got to buy crypto, I'll trade it, do that stuff. If their money's already flowed in a stable coin, it's being held there when they want to deploy it at the right time. It's like, okay, let's get this coin. Boom, goes right away. They just got to do a swap, which is instantaneous. They only got to wait for the waiting time and all that stuff. So if this does happen, again, I think it's going to be bullish for all crypto. Now, speaking of all the crypto out there, let's start talking about some altcoins. What's happening in the altcoin space? Looks like Canton Network taps Chainlink as a super validator and integrates oracles and CCIP. So Chainlink integrated its data service and cross-chain protocol into the institutional blockchain Canton Network and joined as a super validator. Now, Chainlink has integrated with the Canton Network, an institutional blockchain backed by global banks and technology firms, in a move aimed at strengthening institutional adoption of blockchain technology. The partnership announced Wednesday brings Chainlink's data service, including its data streams, smart data, proof of reserve, and the NAV link, and the cross-chain interoperability protocol, which is the CCIP. And they integrated that onto the Canton Network. The network has also joined the Chainlink Scale program, which helps cover Oracle operating costs. As part of the agreement, Chainlink Labs will become a Cantor Network super validator. Now, a super validator is a combined node that runs a domain validator and a Canton synchronizer node. It participates in the global synchronizer to order and finalize cross-domain transactions, providing consensus and interoperability across the network. Now, Yuval Rue, CEO of Canton Network Developed Digital Asset, said that Chainlink not only strengthens our governance and resilience, but also broadens the opportunity for innovators across traditional and decentralized finance. Now, Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov said that he expects the collaboration to enable large-scale real-world use cases that combine traditional and decentralized capital markets. Now, launched back in May of 2023, the Canton Network was designed as an institutional blockchain to support tokenization and large-scale financial activity. It was developed with the backing of tech behemoth Microsoft, finance heavyweights like Goldman Sachs, BNP Paribas, and CBOE Global, and also crypto native like Digital Assets and Paxos. Now, the network's governing body, formerly known as the Global Synchronizer Foundation, recently rebranded as the Canton Foundation, and the foundation includes a major validators such as Chainlink. Now, this change in name only designed to better reflect our purpose and help the community connect the foundation's work more directly with the Canton Network. Now, the Global Synchronizer Foundation is now the Canton Foundation. We've just changed our name from Global Synchronizer Foundation, the GSF, to the Canton Foundation, just to bring more clarity to our role in the Canton Network. Our mission remains the same. It's to support the development and governance of a global synchronizer, the core infrastructure that enables atomic, privacy-preserving transactions across blockchains in the Canton Network. Now, all existing members and super validators continue to be active participants, and this is a change in name only designed to better reflect our purpose and help the community connect the foundation's work more directly with Canton Network. Now, about Canton Foundation, the foundation fosters the growth of global synchronized and facilitates its governance, ensures transparency, and members participate in decisions made by synchronizing operators, helping maintain a reliable and trusted network. Now, the growing institutional blockchain adoption, with its long list of influential partners, the Canton Network has seen significant growth. Since its launch, according to the announcement, Canton Network supports over $6 trillion in on-chain real-world assets, processes $280 billion of repurchases agreements daily, and is backed by a network of 500 validators and more than 30 super validators. Now, the news follows recent reports that the peer-to-peer.org organization has become a validator on the Canton Network earlier this month, and the network attracted the backing of major global banks like BNP Paribas and HSBC, both of which joined the Canton Foundation. Now, the integration comes as global financial institutions accelerate blockchain initiatives. This week, Ripple and the tokenization platform Securities integrated the Ripple USD stablecoin as an off-ramp for tokenized funds by major crypto investment firms like BlackRock and Van Eck. Other developments this week include the London-based Finality securing $136 million from backers, including Bank of America, Citi, Temasek, and Kazakhstan Central Bank, piloting a 10J-backed stablecoin with Solana and MasterCard. So again, like I always say, like institutional investors are getting involved, and this is the news we get from it. It's just like they are involved. They're ramping up their adoption and just testing it all out right now. And then again, yeah, so this is the news I like to follow and just share with you guys because it's happening. This is altcoin news because we're talking about Chainlink in this partnership, but in general, it's talking about the institutional and the adoption. Just it's growing so fast now. It's crazy. Now let's go over some updates with Sui. What's happening with that blockchain and cryptocurrency? So here is the Sui update of September 2025. Sui keeps sharing new updates. We take a look at what happened in the Sui network and its ecosystem during September. So here we go. Sui network, or Sui, is one of the favorite projects. It's now exactly 1 year ago that Sui started to make some serious waves. Sui went from 76 cents in early September 2024 to its current all-time high of $5.35. In early January, that's a 7x in just 4 months. Now, another great feature of the Sui network is that its team keeps building. Each week there are exciting updates, so let's see what happened last month that was brought to us by Sui. So, recent Sui updates and news. There have been plenty of updates and news coming out of the Sui and Mistin Labs camps. To clarify, Mistin Labs is the team behind Sui, so let's take a close look at those updates. So, co-op with Google. One of the recent highlights was a co-op with Google. Sui is a launch partner for Google's new agentic payments protocol. This is a standard that lets AI agents transact on behalf of users. Where most projects just talk about AI plus crypto, Mistin Labs builds it. The Sui ecosystem also adds its share to this. And yep, here is that tweet talking about their partnership. Now, the current web is not friendly toward bots. However, AI agents are about to change this. Sui and AP2 enable programmable rails for agents that balance security and automation. This is not where it stops. Sui also enables open marketplaces for access and licensing of creators' content. You control your own data, and as a bonus, ZK proofs power your privacy. You can read more about this from the Miston Labs blog. Now, crypto conferences. Sui is present at 2 of the biggest crypto conferences around. Currently, Sui is in Seoul for the KBW, Korean Blockchain Week, and Sui is creating quite a riot by taking robots for a walk around Seoul city center. And you can check it out here. So let's see what robots they got. So little robots with a Mexican hat on it. They got like the Sui brand on it. But hey, they're out there. Now, on October 2nd, Sui is hosting the Sui Fest in Singapore. So as part of Token 2029 conference, the Token 2049 is one of the biggest crypto conferences in the world. Sui Fest is going to be a riot. Expect a lot of alpha from the Sui and Miston Labs team, and you will also be able to pick up loads of merch from Sui's ecosystem projects. Make your RSVPs now. So to follow the glowing sign that reads alpha only, and there was our ad for it. Now, Sui is deflationary. During the Sui RL event in Bali, which I visited, this made it into one of the presentations. Ever since Sui has shed some more light on this, so Sui has a hidden deflationary feature in it, which is always cool to see in a cryptocurrency. Now, every transaction takes some Sui out of circulation and reduces the circulating supply, and this can increase the value for all holders. So it's Sui's storage fund that does this. So Sui Storage Fund is the network's hidden deflationary engine. Every transaction just quietly pulls Sui out of circulation, making the token scarce and the network more sustainable. So when somebody creates or modifies an object, they need to pay storage fees. There's also a non-refundable fee in the storage fee, and that's the Sui that's taken out of circulation. And the current situation in the storage fund is as follows. 1.95 million Sui is in the fund, around 700,000 Sui is taken out of the supply already, and another 1.2 million Sui is locked up. So the more you use the storage fund, the more deflationary Sui becomes. And you can always read more about it later, but XMoney bridges TradeFi with Web3 by offering payment infrastructures. So to clarify, this connects merchants, users, and institutions around the world, and XMoney is now about to expand its global payments, and as part of these plans, is already expanded to Sui. Now it is also preparing to launch the XMN token on Sui, and it is important to point out that XMN is compliant with the MiC regulatory framework in Europe, and so I guess we can find more about that on Sui's blog post on this article. But hey, this article is giving us tidbits of information on what's going on. Now the Sui ecosystem is also quite extensive, so no wonder there are regular updates. Here are just 2 projects that are worth mentioning. The Bucket Protocol, which has upgraded its earn product in the previous earning features. There were fees and hidden risks, and also rather complex. So the team upgraded Bucket from the core, and here are some of those changes. The Bucket stablecoin goes now by USDB ticker. If you had Buck locked away, you can migrate to USDB with one simple click. APR goes from 6.72% to 15.29% for a limited time. That's more than double, and there's a 0% borrower's fee. So this makes the Bucket protocol more transparent, predictable, and more importantly, easy to use. And then there's Walrus, WAL. It is our favorite decentralized storage project. Seal is now live on Sui's mainnet, and it adds privacy to the Walrus protocol. Walrus also keeps partnering with various other platforms, for example with Zark Lab, that supercharges content that discovers with AI intelligent tools and makes every file instantly searchable and AI ready. It's an effective AI. This churns files into structured monetizable data sets. Besides Walrus, Seal is also part of this collab. And Talus Network Testnet went live. This is an AI prediction platform with gamified features. So Walrus was also part of the launch of Google's Agentic Payments Protocol too, so that's cool to know. And you can find Walrus and Bucket protocols both on the KBW and Sui Fest. Now, conclusion. Sui keeps bringing updates in a constant flow. We highlight the September updates for Sui in this article, like co-op with Google and Sui being deflationary, but also with Sui's presence at crypto conferences. So furthermore, we also peeked into Sui's ecosystem and showed us some updates. Now, right now, the current price is at $3.35, and out of 10 billion Sui tokens, 3.5 billion is in circulation right now. So that's Sui's updates. There was a lot going on with that project. They're always doing something. Like they were also in the gaming sector too. I think they came out with a little like handheld physical gaming device, which also I think had partnerships with the UFC. Like that was old news. I think I covered like last year, maybe it was even 2 years ago. I think it was last year, but it was so Sui just keeps doing a lot. So this was a lot of news in this little brief update. So I'm glad they didn't go dive deeper. So if you're a SUI holder, that's bullish for you. Me, I don't hold any SUI. I just kept pumping, and I don't want to take that chance anymore. Kind of goes the same with the Aster token, which is pumping right now. Like, there is a lot of news. Aster just flipped hyperliquid in revenue. Will the price double again? I don't know. I feel like this coin is just due for a correction, but people keep hyping it. It keeps moving, so I can't say if it's going to double or not. Also, Aster overtakes Circle in daily revenue rankings. So again, they're surpassing Circle, they're surpassing Hyperliquid, and then also they've confirmed that they're rolling out with an Aster chain, which is just in their they're testing the phase right now with it. So lots of stuff is going on with this coin and what they're doing, but again, they're taking a lot of action away. And let's see, let's take a look at their 7-day chart. This coin just came out like in September. September 18th. So it's got a lot of growth going with it, but I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be some type of dip, but that's a slow, steady curve. I don't know if it's such short data that's like But yeah, if you guys want to get in this coin, it's got a market cap of 3.89 billion. So yeah, I probably should have gotten into it a couple of days ago. But yeah, so the low billions. This is number 36 on the market cap. So I think there's still room to grow, but again, brand new coins usually have a dip eventually, so we'll wait to see when that correction happens, but lots of bullish news happening. But that is about it for all the news. I didn't really cover the why Sam Bankman-Fried's token FTT pumped after 4 months, just from a mysterious tweet of good morning, which wasn't even him. So I didn't need to cover that news article for you. But that is it for the news. Bitcoin's currently at $113,600. So hey, we're making our way back up. Let's see if we can retest 115 again. So let's go up there. Some people speculate that we may see a deep turn to 107, but hey, if it's so, I'm just buying up some more, and everyone's going to do the same. So everybody, I hope everyone has an awesome Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday, so everyone have a great Wednesday. I will see you again tomorrow with some more crypto news. So take care, guys.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calix Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calix Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calixsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calix Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calixsolutions.io.